Okay guys, so the Sony A7 III, it's probably the best camera to be released last year. And it's still a very viable camera. And today Sony is making it better by releasing a firmware update that improves the autofocusing system. And even though this is not the same level of AF that we get with the new A6400, the new firmware is bound to bring in some new improvements, stability, and also make focusing the IAF better. It also introduces animal IAF and now gives us the ability to do in-camera time-lapse. When the A7 III was released, one of the features that people were asking for is the ability to do time-lapse. And time-lapse or interval shooting was not available in this camera. So now Sony is giving us that feature through this firmware update as well. So I just want to do this quick video and go through the setup process of installing the new version 3 firmware on your A7 III. If you have a shoot coming up or professional gig coming up, I think it's not a good idea to update straight away. I would suggest you wait a little bit, few days, see how the update goes, and then you can go ahead and update it. Also, if you can't be without your camera for a while, if this is the only body you have, then I will suggest you wait as well. Let other people do the updates so you can tell whether the update is good or bad and how it's working for others, and then decide if you want to upgrade. Because even though it's safe to update your cameras, with any upgrade of any kind to any software, there is always the possibility of things going wrong, and you do not want that happening to your camera. So I would say hold off for a little bit if you can before updating. But in this case, I will go through this update with you. Today is the first day of the release, and I'm willing to go through that update process and try out, and let's see how the firmware update goes. So in this video, we're just going to go through the firmware update process. So let's head over to the PC and try to get this update installed. Okay, so here we are on the PC. I'll put a link to the download in the description area. However, depending on where you are, your download link may be different. I'm in Canada, so I'm downloading from the Sony.ca website. I will put that link down in the description. So let's click on the download. And then once you click on download, scroll down, for all the terms of use and stuff like that. Click on download again. I'm going to save this to my desktop for easy access. Okay, so how's the update is going on? Let's talk about a few housekeeping stuff that we need to do. So the first thing to consider is to ensure that you have a full battery in the camera. This will ensure that the camera doesn't shut down during the update process, because if that happens, it could break your camera, and you don't want that to happen. The next thing is to go onto your camera in the settings, and in the settings area, you want to make sure that you set the USB mode to match storage device. If you end up with a screen like this where it's grayed out just like it is on my screen, what you will need to do is to go into the USB settings, under the network 1 settings, and you want to make sure that control with smartphone is set to off. And so once you have control with smartphone settings set to off, go back to the setup for page, and right here under USB connection, you want to make sure it is now set to mass storage. Okay, so that's done. The next thing is to connect your camera to the computer using the provided USB cable that came with your camera. Once you have that done, we can now go ahead and do the update. Go to your desktop or whatever location you save the update file to, locate the update file and I always right click and do run as administrator. So here we go, the extraction process is going to take place. And now you need to follow the instructions right here. So turn on the camera, right, and then go next. And at this step, the software update program is going to try to see if it can locate or properly connect to the A7 III. So as you can see here, my A7 III is currently on firmware version 2.1.0, and we're going to try to upgrade to version 3.00. Okay, so the update is done. I'm going to click on the finish button. So now we've finished with the update. The update completed successfully. And there are a few new things that you can see in the menu. So let's go over in the menu and see what has changed with this new firmware. Okay, so the first thing you will notice probably is when you go on the camera icon, page number 4, right away you're going to see interval shooting function. And this is where you get all your time-lapse settings. You also have the setting where you can change your auto exposure tracking sensitivity. This will help in situations where you're shooting time-lapse and you don't want the changes in exposure to be drastic, as if you're shooting in let's say automatic mode for the time lapse. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this clip or if the information was helpful to you, please consider subscribing. Help me build this channel. Stay blessed, God bless you, and keep creating. Thank you.